Hello! Welcome back to another video, festive friends. In today's video, I am... Sorry, I just had lunch, so my throat's doing that thing and my voice sounds weird, and I did... Darn you, open-faced chicken sandwich! Anyhow, in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys 5 tips for making an LPS series, or a LPS series. I know that N is probably incorrect because LPS stands for Littlest Pet Shop Insane, and Littlest Pet Shop is wrong. However, when I say a LPS, that sounds wrong, so LPS series, they are fun to make and they are fun to watch. I've seen a lot of LPS tubers give out tips and things about making LPS videos or series, so I thought it would be a fun idea to give my 2 cents worth, since I have been in the community for this year, it'll have been 5 years. So I think it's safe to say that I've learned a couple of things about writing and about making LPS series in that amount of time. Reminder that these tips are all optional and no one has to go and use these tips. These are just things that I have personally learned for myself and that some people might be able to use, so yeah. Tip number 1. Have the general gist of how the beginning, middle, and ending of your story will go before filming. When you start randomly filming or writing an episode for a new series without a clue of where you'll end up, your series will more than likely have a lot of choppy bits and plot holes. Excuse. This isn't saying that you have to write a script if you don't like doing that sort of thing. Just write down what's going to happen in the first act, the second act, and the third act. That way your story will flow a lot better. You'll also be able to add some fun foreshadowing and hints of things to come in the story. One of my favorite things to do when watching a movie or a TV show or even reading a book is to look for things like this. Foreshadowing, hidden metaphors are my everything. They are my bread, they are my butter, they are my toast, they are my jam, they are my breakfast with bacon on the side. I can never get enough of foreshadowing. It makes me feel like a detective, and when something eventually happens later on in the story that was foreshadowed earlier on, it makes me feel so smart for noticing it before, and it just makes the story feel very neatly tied together and very well written. It's also really fun to watch your viewers spot things like this and try to figure them out and create headcanons and things in the comments. Tip number 2. Film and edit at least a couple of the first few episodes of your series before publishing the first one. This is something I learned when making the first season of The Dragon Princess. Unfortunately, I failed to repeat the lesson when making the second because I got a little bit too excited to publish the first episode. But anyway, when you film and edit the first few episodes of your series before publishing the first one, it gives you an opportunity to create a trailer. It also lets you work on future episodes while you're publishing their already finished ones. It keeps your audience well fed for a little while you continue to have a stress-free filming schedule. Say by the time you release the already finished 3rd episode, you'll have already had the 4th one ready, or at least somewhat prepared for release. Number 3. Make eye-catching thumbnails and titles. It can definitely be a bit of a gamble when premiering the pilot of your new series. You never really know how well it's going to do until it's out there, but making intriguing titles and really good-looking thumbnails can definitely help. I do recommend using PixArt to make your thumbnails. There's a lot of free effects and things to make your thumbnails look more saturated or however you want them to look, and it can make them look more noticeable and just pop out amongst a lot of other thumbnails. Number 4. Script. Now, I know not everybody likes scripting their LPS series, and that is totally okay. However, there are many benefits to scripting. It gives you time to come up with fun dialogue, witty lines, spend time with your story. It can also help you develop your writing and storytelling skills. It keeps you from having awkward pauses in your characters' lines and allows you to develop your characters a little bit more. Also, if your series has a lot of details and subplots in it, writing a script can be a way of keeping track of them all. However, if you don't like writing scripts, definitely at least make some notes and have them at your side while filming so you don't forget anything. I've had times where I've forgotten details to plots and have had to cover them up by mentioning in the next episode. Last but not least, number 5! Take time writing your story. After writing the first draft of your story, take some time to mull it over in your mind and continue writing details. I've always loved the quote, "I'm writing the first draft and reminding myself that I'm simply shoveling sand into a box so that I can later build castles." The first time I wrote down the initial idea for The Dragon Princess, it was so incredibly different from what it ended up being. Adana was a prince named Egan, and later on, after rewriting and making Egan into Adana, Candace and her were originally going to both be the daughters of Huck and Lusana, and they were supposed to have kicked Candace out for protecting the dragons. So it was a very different story at first, but I allowed myself to have time to think over the story and make rewrites, and I ended up with something that I loved a lot more, and something that was more developed and better crafted than it would have been if I had just started filming immediately after getting the first idea. Things that can help you develop your story after doing the first draft are things like listening to music. For me personally, whenever I make a new series, I make a private playlist and start adding in songs and music that inspire and help me work on the series that I'm currently writing. For example, the song Thunder by Imagine Dragons helped me to develop Adana's character a little bit. The song Hey Brother by Avicii helped me to develop Adana and DJ's brother and sister-like dynamic, and etc, etc. Also, watching YouTube channels that review movies and TV shows can really help with the writing and developing of your story. Also, one last little tip. Watching movie reviews of really bad movies can help your storytelling self-esteem. Yeah, watching reviews of bad movies is really fun. Anyways, that's all the time and tips that we have for today, and I hope that these were helpful to you. I hope you have a wonderful day. Please remember that you are important and loved, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!